Welcome to Vindictus, and I know you guys have been waiting a long time for this guide, I guess, or, well, yeah. Anyways, so today I'm gonna go over both the Staff and the Scythe. It's gonna be pretty long, so bear with me, and also use the table of contents around here. That's generally up over there, yeah, up over there. So, yeah, just bear with me and use that to your advantage, and I will go over generally what I do. So I don't know if it's the best, but it generally puts me out there pretty at the high level of play. So it's just, you know, I hope you can learn something from this, or it can help you, even if you're experienced or a newbie. And yeah, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I'm going to go over the staff skills. First you want focus, level 5, as soon as possible. I barely ever use magic arrow, like I almost never use it, so there's no point ever ranking it up. If you got questions about it, I'll give you the reasoning, because I want to keep this video still short, as short as possible, without it going crazy long. Mana Mine, I very rarely use it. Firebolt, Lightning Bolt, I use those like crazy. Have those at maximum as soon as possible. Ice Blast, it's a great AoE for clearing. It's a great AoE for clearing mobs. There's no point for me to ever use it though. On bosses, unless my other 2 spells are on cooldown and I don't have a T3 spell available, so it's just extra damage on top of that. Healing Corona, you want this maxed as soon as possible. It helps with your runs, it helps with parties, it prevents you from using potions if you can heal yourself a lot, so then you don't have to bring potions on your runs, which means you save more money over time, so there's no point to ever buy potions, which is what I do. I almost never use potions. Lightning Mastery, you want this maxed as soon as possible, because it helps you regain your stamina as fast as possible. So every 3 lightning spells you cast, you get 90 stamina back. That's crazy amounts. It's basically like all your stamina back at first, because I believe Evie starts with 110 stamina max, which is the lowest between across all characters. I have 173, but that's because I maxed everything. Ice Mastery, this will only help with extending the duration of crowd control effects, such as the frozen status. So if you get 2 Ice Mastery buffs and then the 3rd one you landed on a target, they'll be frozen for about 6 seconds on the first freeze, which is hella long. That's very useful, and then later on it's like 2 seconds at a time, and then the second freeze will be 4 seconds plus 2 if you have the ice buff, and then consequent ones after that will be 2 seconds, and then afterwards it won't work anymore for a while, for a good, I think, 2 to 4 minutes. Fire Mastery, you want this as maxed as possible, because after casting 3 fire spells, you get the fire buff or whatever on the 3rd spell. So the 3rd spell that tags a target or whatever, they get set on fire, and it does a dot damage of about, it's about the same damage as a magic arrow, except it just ticks on them over time, and you don't have to worry about it. You can actually just run away. They just get tick damage. It's ridiculous. Fire spells are basically your damage spells on top of lightning, and then ice is for like crowd control. Flying Sparrow, I don't think there's a point in maxing this, because it's just for mobility and it doesn't reduce stamina upon ranking it, so there's no point ranking that. Ice Mastery is something you don't really have to rank until way later. Regeneration, you want this ranked as soon as possible, because if you have excess SP, this is what you'll be using it on, and I always have excess SP. Hallucinate, you want this maxed as soon as possible. It'll help you with a lot of situations with mini-bosses, semi-bosses, and non-raid bosses. It doesn't do anything on actual raid bosses. Casting Save, of course, maxed as soon as possible. It's the only way you'll be able to do spell shotguns. Firestorm, maxed as soon as possible. This thing is its AoE got increased after the revamp, so it's bigger. It gives you less SP now. It's only 15 SP a hit. It used to be 25, which was retarded. I thought that was crazy. I was just like, oh, continual focus, 125 SP, and then Firestorm, 3 hits, oh, 75 SP back. That only cost me 50 SP. That was so stupid. But they reduced it, probably because that's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, it's 15 SP now, so it's still 45 SP. It's still a decent amount, and it does damage. It does decent damage, and it can crit now too. So 3 hits. It does 3 hits, 15 SP a hit, and if you hit it like a crowd of enemies, of course you get a mass boost of SP. Mana Amber, surprisingly I don't really use this that much, so just rank it up every now and then. You don't really have to max that as soon as possible. The reasons being is because I actually never really stand there and take a hit. I just move around. Mobility and positioning with Flying Sparrow. And even though Flying Sparrow is extremely expensive on stamina, if you cast enough lightning spells, you get all that stamina back really quickly. So I never really had a point to use Mana Amber except for in situations where I was mid-cast and then an attack is coming in. That's the only time I had to use Amber. And Amber is much more expensive when you cast it right after a spell cast. So if you cast Amber right after an attack, then it's the increase in stamina cost is about like 25 extra, so it's crazy a lot. If you do it without anything, it's like 15 SP. It's like 15 stamina. Costs like nothing. But with an attack, it's like 40. It's like, what the hell? I'll go more on that later. Ice Spear, you want this max as soon as possible. This thing helps with freezing bosses, raid bosses as well. And it's probably the only attack that has the highest chance to freeze for some odd reason. I don't even use Ice Blow that much because Ice Blow is really slow. Ice Spear is like practically instant, one hit, and it hits really damn hard. On top of that, if you have crit, it spikes extremely hard too. So I also use Ice Spear for damage. Contrary to Lightning Wave, I don't use Lightning Wave as much anymore. I only use it for stamina restore and building Lightning Mastery buff. Lightning Wave got changed after the revamp. It now curves inward, it doesn't curve out, and it only hits once. Surprisingly, because before the revamp, the 5 shots that come out, they hit 3 times each. You guys can probably see that in the Spell Shotgun video that I did in the past. So I actually prefer Ice Spear on top of that, which actually helps freeze, and then you can go into a Lightning Wave after if you want. It doesn't bounce anymore. But if you look at the if you look at the skill video in there, it's still bouncing outwards. So even the tooltip video isn't updated yet. So I don't know if Nexon and DevCat know about that, but yeah, that's completely incorrect. It does not do that anymore. It curves inwards. And Guided Lightning is something you will be using a lot as well. Guided Lightning is for keeping a distance, and it's very good because it helps you go straight into a Rage Conductor and puts you in a good position most of the time. I'm not saying it's always. It keeps you at a good distance. Like, Guided Lightning goes pretty darn far, and it's just like it's the skill you want to use before you use Rage Conductor. Ice Blow, as I said, I don't really use it. You don't really have to rank this up. This is like one of the skills you can rank up last. You'll barely ever be using it. I don't see a point in using it very often because it does low damage and it hits multiple times, and that means if it hits multiple times, that means you won't crit as much. Because in terms of like that versus an Ice Spear either hits 7k or it hits 15k for me. So a crit is 15k, whereas Ice Blow, it's like 2k, 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 4k, 4k, 2k, 2k, which does not add up to 15k. It's like kind of close. It's like 4k, 4k, 2k, 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 2k. Yeah, it's like 14k. So it's and it takes forever. Whereas an Ice Spear is just like bam, instant, and it's there. And then I can go into doing another spell. Fire Shock, you want this max as soon as possible. This is another one of your damage spells. If you land Fire Shock with the Fire Mastery buff, it hits way hard, and if you get if you get the boss standing in the fire and then also having the tick damage, you just see this number fly out of them repeatedly, and it's just wonderful. So that's all I can say. And the other thing is, okay, so basically if you rank up Fire Mastery, it increases that dot damage by 24%. And of course, Rage Conductor, this is one of the last spells you should rank up. It actually doesn't, there's not too much of a change. You might want like 1 or 2 ranks in it just for that big bonus damage in the beginning. Rage Conductor, how it works is the first 3 seconds you're invulnerable, and then the next 7 seconds is like you have to keep the beam on the boss. Upon using it, it doesn't matter where the boss is, it'll auto aim it in wherever the boss is. So if the boss is behind you before the beam is unleashed, your character will automatically turn towards them. But if they move out of the way, it's really hard to turn the beam around. So this is where I was going on with the Guided Lightning at first. Once you unlock Continual Focus, it's very easy to get into a Rage Conductor right away. So you shoot a Guided Lightning, and then you'll be at a good distance, and then you use your Rage Conductor right after the Guided Lightning with your Continual Focus buff, so that's how you get there quickly. Then you aim the beam or whatever, and because of your distance, you don't have to turn as much. You're basically like, imagine this is a cone here, and then if your boss is here and you're here, the boss can move like over here and here. but that means you only have to turn your character like very little, like between this range here, if they move to up here or down here or whatever. But if they're like this close to you, then your cone suddenly becomes like this wide. So you have to turn like all the way up or all the way down. Doesn't matter, like this is an overhead shot, and then so the closer you are, the wider that you have to turn the beam, because if the boss moves up, then you have to turn like all the way up there, and then if they're down here, you have to turn all the way down here. So being close when you use Rage Conductor really doesn't help. It just means you have to turn more before you can actually start doing damage, and that's one of the things with Rage Conductor. Alright guys, so the Scythe skills, Blink is something you want first as soon as possible. Blink is like really quick now after the revamp. You want it as soon as possible because it decreases stamina use. You use it a lot, like a hell of a lot, and this is like your main way of dodging too. It's crazy mobility. It's very good. Void Star is something that I don't really know if it's like good or bad. You definitely want the reduced SP consumption on it, and at rank 9 and above you can cast it without cooldown, so you can cast about 2 of them. And then the way I've done the most damage with Scythe is that you cast 2 Void Stars and then you go into an Arcane Gate. I've read reports where some people were saying like Void Star does more DPS overall than an Arcane Gate, and I don't really know if that's true because Void Star only hits about 5,000 for me and it crits 10k, whereas my Arcane Gate it's 4 or 5 hits. If you land the first hit or whatever, it's like a total of like 75k, so 750 SP, about 75,000 damage versus a maximum total of 30,000 damage. It just doesn't make sense. Like there's a 35k difference there. So I'm just like, no. But it's quick. It's just like for sandbag boss, I would not do it. Yeah, so Void Star rank 9 as soon as possible. It'll help you with like your runs and clearing a lot really fast. It's basically like a gravity hole. It'll drag all the mobs into the center and then explode. So it'll probably just kill everything too, and make your runs go faster, so you don't have to chase down every mob in a dungeon run. Sacrifice is something that'll happen a lot. So this is something you probably want to max out as soon as possible as well. It increases the damage by a total of 63%. That's a huge rate. Now on top of that, you want to increase the damage on it for Awakening. I'll go through all the Awakenings later. So Spirit Mind, this will occur quite often too, along with Life Drain. But what you do want to max is also Demon Splitter and Blade Shift. Blade Shift hits so hard, it's unbelievably strong, considering it's a technique that occurs right after Blink. You used to be able to do 2 hits, and I actually used to think there's no point in even marking dudes if I just blink and Blade Shift twice, because with enough speed you can just blink and Blade Shift repeatedly and you just kill everything before anything can even go on. Hellquake, you don't really need at a level. You won't be using this technique much unless you're title farming for the Soul Hoarder title. Soul Skewer, you definitely need this if you're trying to land Mark of Death. And Horrific Scream, you want to level this as soon as possible. Mark of Death is a dot. How Mark of Death works is that it marks, when you land your Soul Skewer, it'll mark all your enemies that are the same type. So if you have a bunch of gnolls around a bunch of Hemdrills, if you land the Soul Skewer on the gnolls, it'll just mark the gnolls, but it won't mark the Hemdrills. Whereas Bloody Thread, it'll just mark everything. It'll just mark everything of any type. It doesn't matter. Insane Reaper is another thing you want to max as soon as possible. So Horrific Scream, Insane Reaper, Blade Shift, Demon Splitter, and Blink are the topmost skills that I ended up using the most. Dimensional Loom is the 4-hit smash. I don't know if you need to rank this up as soon as possible, because it's very slow at first to use, and also early levels on you won't have very much speed, so it's very hard to land unless you're slicing the air and then hoping that the boss runs into the actual 4th hit. And Bloody Thread, same thing. So it's just, I find that I use Mark of Death much more often, even though I know Bloody Thread hits harder. And I also use Blade Shift, Demon Split, and the Horrific Scream much more often. And then Arcane Gate, this is something that I don't know if you really need to max as well. It's only like an 18% increase for ranking it. Arcane Gate, I actually use it to enhance my marks. Enhancement, I don't know if it actually does double damage. Some people have told me it does double damage. I know it does like quite a bit more damage, But for certain attacks, I noticed that sometimes it doesn't do anything. Like for Spirit Bind and the Sacrifice Enhance, I noticed the damage still does like 2k, 5k on Explosion. It doesn't really do anything. So I was just like, oh, okay. But I mean, I use Arcane Gate to enhance my marks anyway, so I don't actually pull. So that way I can actually continue doing other things faster. Every time I pull, I feel like I'm losing damage, just because it feels slow. For common skills, I don't know which one you want to invest in first. Generally, there's no real like perfect order or any absolute way. You're gonna eventually max them out anyways. Just like me, like for instance, I have all my skills maxed. Like literally everything is maxed. It's like max. Nothing is. So just for starters, if you want to max out your Evie, you're gonna need 204,764 ability points in total. That's what this number reflects here on the stats. 204k, that's all you need. After that, everything is bonus. Mana Shield is something you want maxed first in the common skills, regardless of what weapon, because it's common skills. Mana Shield, because this thing now accommodates towards your defense as well, on top of being a flat HP shield. So the HP shield is basically something it's 2200 HP buffer on top of your existing HP. Now the interesting thing about this is that on top of it being now accumulated on top of your defense, so defense is calculated before damage is received onto the shield. The last HP of the shield, like the last whatever remaining HP that'll break it, can absorb up to 9 damage still. So like that last hit will still absorb as much damage as it can before it breaks into your HP. So if an attack hits you for like 10,000 damage, and that literally wipes your shield, which is 2,200, that other 8,800 damage will be like, or 7,800 damage will be completely negated from your HP. So that damage just gets absorbed into the shield and it breaks. The other thing you want is, of course, Magic Mastery. This just straight up flat increases your magic attack. Defense Mastery on top of Mana Shield. You want to get Mana Shield first, of course, and then Defense Mastery helps boost Mana Shield strength on top of it. And of course, Smash Mastery. This is like simple across all of them. Alchemy Pistol is Mana Pistol is very good. At first, it'll help you with a lot of Season 1 bosses, and then the Golem won't really help you too much. It also takes a while to build up the Golem because you need a lot of objects to follow it around, so you don't really need to rank that up. You definitely want Eagle Talon up, though, if you're going to become a Scythe. At Eagle Talon, you want it ranked up until it gets you the 1.8 seconds. If you look at the tooltip there, it says after running lessens the time you have to wait before attacking by 1.8 seconds. Once it's at that point, you don't really have to bring it up past that rank. Because I don't know how much the early ranks reduce that time. You want that to reduce... You want that time reduced for a specific skill later on in the Scythe section. And Smash Mastery, Crit, those two are always good. And it's just nothing I should really have to go over. It's just, like, these should always be maxed anyways. Critical Hit and Smash Mastery, that just overall boosts your entire damage pool. Alright, so that's generally the important thing with the AP skills. Is just you want the Mana Shield first if you want to live longer, because you won't have very much defense early on. And then of course there's your stats. Intel just to strengthen the Mana Shield. It increases your damage, increases your crit multiplier. It does everything, so you want intelligence out of everything, of course. Agility helps with your defense and stamina restore. Willpower, crit, and life flare, standing endurance, doesn't matter, whatever. Restoration, you want battle respiration at rank A as soon as possible. Evie has so many stamina problems, I'm not even kidding you. Rank A, just rank A. Rank A is good enough. Rank 9 to 3 is completely pointless. You only get like about 1.5 more out of it. It's useless. Stamina Mastery, you want this maxed as soon as possible too, actually, because having a higher capacity means you can actually have more to work with rather than very little to work with. Some of the spells are very expensive on stamina costs, on top of Mana Ember and whatever, and the rest are completely up to you. Oh, you want Revive maxed as soon as possible. This helps runs as well. You always want to kind of revive a person over using a feather. On top of that, it gives like the person a buff, I think. It says thankful thoughts effects from revived party members after shrugging off momentary fatigue. Yeah, so you get a buff for it too apparently, but I've never received the buff. But anyways, it's still very useful. You want to max revive as soon as possible as well. Alchemy Transformer, don't really need it. And then equipment. In terms of equipment though, you will be either using. You should make a decision at the beginning which armor you want to go with. I don't really have. There's no really right way to go about it. You can either go cloth and light or heavy and plate. So pick one of the two. Live long and prosper. Rest in peace, Spock. Just either commit to light and cloth or plate and heavy. If you commit to light and cloth, you'll probably be more of a glass cannon than anything. Even at level 80 with pirate armor, like your defense won't be that high. Or you can go heavy and plate, and you can still be fairly strong, but you won't be as fast as a fully geared light and cloth. But then again, you'll also live a lot longer because you have much higher defense. And then of course weapon masteries as you go. Alright guys, so this time I'm actually going to go into armors, because a lot of you always ask me like what armors do I recommend. So generally 1 to 60 happens really quick, so there's not much for me to recommend there. Like just do your main story quests and you'll level really fast. There's no point to ever get power level by anybody because Vindictus' quests give you so much EXP that there's no point for someone to power level you. It'll actually slow you down if you just run the map over and over rather than doing the quests. So for level 60, I recommend that you actually do Wonderland armor. It's not too expensive. It's only like, well, actually it might be a little expensive. No, it's not too expensive. It's like only like $1 or so in each of them. And like all the quests that you do up to this point should pay enough to actually get the armor. Other than that, you can also do light incels. There's like light incels armor. This is even cheaper. It's 273k. There's actually not too much of a difference. It gives a decent amount of defense and it's still light armor. And yeah, like look at this. It's 200k. It's like nothing. And then there's also, and then for level 70 you probably want to do everlasting leather for light armor. It's like a light armor. Or you can do Inkara for 62. So everlasting armor, it's a couple mils. It's a bit more expensive. Otherwise you can go with, I don't know if there's champion armor out there. There's champion leather armor. It's still a couple mils. Like 70 armor, you're expected to pay a couple mils anyways. And then if you're going heavy armor, you probably want the Nighthawk light armor. So you'll get more defense, but you need heavy armor. So I'm using Armageddon and Regina, so that's heavy and plate. I decided to go with defense. And then level 80 armor, if you're going cloth and light or whatever light armor, then you probably definitely want the classic Black Pearl. Classic Black Pearl, this is generally like 10-20 mils. And then if you're going for 80 armor, a mix would be classic Black Pearl and Hiramon Soft. And then if you're going heavy, that would be Armageddon and Skeleton, I want to say, but probably not. I just went half Armageddon and half Regina, so that's what I did. But that's because I like having defense, because it's calculated into the mana shield. So having defense is very important. Don't ever disregard it at later levels. At 60 to 70, defense isn't too important, considering the mana shield still helps even with very little. But at 80 plus, that's when you want some sort of defense. And classic Black Pearl still gives defense and stuff. Scythe, as a Scythe EV, you should never die. Considering how much mobility, Blink gives. It's just the boss will never catch you. Alright guys, so this is a staff demonstration. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing me play Twilight Desert, but for staff, this is where I'm going to try and teach you how to like quick cast. A lot of people are still like casting like this. This is hella slow. Like, oh my god, that's slow. That was like a good 10 seconds. You should be able to reach like tier 2 and tier 3 immediately like this. In about like half the time. So I hope you notice how much faster that was. And you're probably like, how the hell do you do that? So, for some of you anyways. So even after the revamp, I still notice high level Eevees like slow casting like this and taking forever. How you can quickly move the focus up is that once it stops at a tier, if you press the right click again, it'll go to the next level right away. But if you let go like halfway into the thing letting go before it reaches the next tier, it just cancels out straight away. So you gotta get used to that. This is like sort of skill timing at first, and then you'll be able to cast really quick. But this is actually the slowest method of casting, strangely enough. You might be like, oh, but moving cast like this is even slower. But think about it though, it's just like if you're standing here, and the boss moves out of position, you're actually a lot slower than the person who's moving casting right into the boss. Like if you're move casting straight into the boss, you're putting yourself in position to actually land your spell and not miss. Whereas these people, they have to stand here and then either do a long range spell or save it. Whereas for me, I either do moving cast or I do Flying Sparrow cast, which is like right even faster, which is the fastest. The fastest is Flying Sparrow. So like if I save all my usual spells to cast, which is probably like these ones right here, it changed a little bit after the spell order casting doesn't matter anymore after the revamp. You build stacks regardless of what element you're shooting out. But I do Fire Shock, Guided Lightning, Ice Spear, and if I have Continual Focus and SP, I just go straight into a Rage Conductor after the Guided Lightning. So I generally Continual Focus first, and then I shoot this off, and then I go straight into 4, and then straight into a Conductor. That's how you do a quick raise, basically. Quick Rage Conductor. And then right after that, it's just like, you know, another focus straight into that, Ice Blow, and then like Ice Spear, Firebolt, Lightning, and then like Mine. I don't know, you can just keep going forever after that. And then because I don't have any targets to hit, I'm out of stamina, so like all my stamina's gone. And that's how fast it can go. It's like Amber itself is 15 stamina, but if you use it after a spell, it's much more. Let's see, how much is it? Yeah, it's about like 20 more or something. So that's some ways of quick casting, guys. Like the fastest way is basically Flying Sparrow straight into a spell. You'll notice that I start at focus level 2. I don't actually have to go through level 1. The way you do that is you Flying Sparrow and you hold your right click down, and you'll go straight into the second focus. And you'll go straight into the second focus. If after Flying Sparrow and you hold down a direction, you end up moving into moving focus like that, which really doesn't help your case unless the boss actually like ran away. But the Flying Sparrow itself already covers so much distance that should generally always put you in position to cast a spell and land it. So this is the slowest way unless you're actually just needing to save spells when nothing's going on. It's just standing focus, but you shouldn't actually use it when there's a boss around to actually tag with those spells. Because you can do that like with this and quickly reach T3. T3 spell is much faster than if you're standing around doing this. So it's just like, you should be able to have them all on cooldown all the time. And there you go, I have all 3 of my T3 spells on cooldown. And I still have time to talk while it's still counting, so it's just, that's how crazy it should be. And then I generally almost never save or cast myself to a T4 spell in battle. How I do it is I always go from a T3 to a T4. So say I have no T4 spells, it's saved or whatever, I always go like this, straight from a T3, and then I save that, or either that I just cast this, and that, and then save into a 4, so I waste very little time in between casting. So that takes a very long while to get used to. Even though I was a little confused for the first year or so, but afterwards I was like, why doesn't anybody use this? Especially like moving casting too. And moving casting is a little strange. Move focusing is it's a little odd at first. At first you don't want to stop until it reaches a tier, and then once it reaches a tier, you want to wait until Evie's in a standing position, not in a running, because you actually cannot release a spell while you're running. So you actually have to be standing still before it happens. I'll show you in like video editing, kind of like when you know it's okay to cast from moving casting. Otherwise you just cancel straight out and then you get really confused, and then it's just like, oh, it's just like, that's not the spell I wanted, and then I lost my focus and I casted the wrong thing, or I casted a Corona, now it's on a whole minute and 30 seconds cooldown, it takes forever, what the hell's going on? So with moving focus, you always want to wait until that blue bar hits a line, and then let go of your direction key, and then once Evie's in this standing position, that's when you can cast your spell. But if you try to cast it like while you're moving, it just doesn't work. I just let go of the key really fast, so that's why it almost looks seamless. But you still have to stop moving in order for it to work. Unless you press, you can mash the key really fast too, but sometimes you might just get the wrong spell going off on the wrong tier. What I always like to do is I let it charge a little bit past the line, so then I can actually stop, and I know that it'll go to the bottom of the tiers, and properly save a spell too if I have to save it, if I know I'm not going to land it. So you have many choices in terms of like strategy and flexibility and tactics and techniques. The only spell you can't save is obviously the Rage Conductor, which is a little too OP to be saved. You can always just run around like this until that's maxed out, and then you just rage. Rage Conductor, you're invincible during the charge up, like during the initial animation of her like drawing all the energy into her wand. But during the laser effect, you're actually really vulnerable, and you can get cancelled. And you can also jump out of it too in case you need to move out of the way. So don't suffer a hit if you don't have to, especially if it's an insta-kill one. Okay, so with a Scythe, you use a Werewolf Paw for an artifact. Staff, you want the Greater Cat Statue. Greater Cat Statue I consider like ammo for the continual focus, and considering the amount of SP you'll be using anyways with a staff. For the Scythe, I want you to have like a lot of speed, because it takes forever to land like a bloody thread. It's like a good 4 seconds before you actually hit it, and there's no way to like skip that. So you actually need speed to actually get yourself there. One thing I noticed that that a lot of Evies are probably having trouble is that when they do this and the horrific scream goes backwards, you can actually like solve that and go forwards like this. You're probably like, what the fuck? So it's just like, to drop the Scythe in the direction that you're attacking, you actually just have to press your direction key in the opposite direction. It's probably just the way it's coded, but I don't know why it has to drag out and back, considering you take a step back and sometimes it misses. One of the things is that I spam Horrific Scream a lot because it restores a lot of stamina, which is 80. That's a ridiculous amount. I don't know why it's so high. But the other thing is like marking. Marking is, the only thing you ever have to mark is probably Mark of Death and Bloody Thread. The other two aren't worth marking, it's kind of like a waste of time. And then on top of that, the way I use Arcane Gate is that if I have a full bar of SP, 1250, you either use Insane Reaper first, or you use 2 Void Stars first for like maximum damage. Insane Reaper helps Arcane Gate a little bit, being that it's faster, so you can actually land those strikes faster. Arcane Gate is very situational in a sense, because when you activate Arcane Gate, you can be interrupted by anything, like even the weakest attack ever. You have no super armor, so even if a null archer or whatever pegs you with an arrow, you get cancelled. So, and then landing the 4 hits. Each hit is a different mark. It's all in that order. So the first hit will give you Life Drain, the second hit will give you Spirit Bind, the third hit will give you Mark of Death, the fourth hit will give you Bloody Thread, and the final hit will give you will explode all of them on top of its own damage as well. Then if you land all 4, then the last one hits extremely hard, and there's a yellow number that appears in there. So I don't know why some people have said that Void Star does more damage over time if you use Void Star like 3 times over the Arcane Gate. You don't use Arcane Gate at 1000 SP or something. Try to burn that SP with Void Star or something, and always use Arcane Gate at the minimum cost, which is 750. Any more than that, it'll just eat the rest of it for nothing. It's a bit like Arisha's Ruin Blade. It doesn't do any extra damage. It doesn't do anything extra. It's just that it just consumes all your SP, and there's no point to sacrifice SP that you didn't use. So to do 2 Void Stars, this is why you want Eagle Tail on, by the way. So you do this, and then you cast another one, and then you go into Arcane Gate like that. And then you can just, like, you can stop whenever you want. There's no point to actually stopping your Arcane Gate, but also in between each of the hits of the strikes of Arcane Gate, you don't want to get hit in between, so don't try to reappear when Arcane Gate, when you're mid-strike, because if you strike straight into an enemy's attack, you'll get cancelled out of your entire Arcane Gate sequence as well, and then you lose all your damage. The other thing is, like, you want speed. Speed is the other thing. I have about, what is it, 120 speed, 119 speed, and this is how fast it goes. Well, you should go faster than that. I just don't have Scythe gear. Like, if Scythe gear that I recommend for you is just well-balanced, declarative, everything. And then you probably, like, want a fast 4 accessories, and then you try to balance buff, like, whatever, and then try to raise crit from whatever you can. Speed is everything for a Scythe. It just helps everything. Like, land all your marks faster, have your arcane spike much faster, so there's less time in between your warps. Another thing about Arcane Gate I forgot to mention is that when you strike, Arcane Gate's a little weird. When you activate it, you're always moving forward, and it's hard to make a turn because you actually have to turn your camera, and you can't actually, like, just suddenly swap directions. But the attack strike, so say you're moving forward, you strike the boss once, and then now the boss is behind you, but you're in front and you're facing in front. If you actually hold your backwards direction, Evie will reappear and strike backwards. And I don't know if your direction actually changes. Like I can show you right now in 5 seconds after this thing cools down, but that's one way to actually make sure your hits are more accurate. So it's like one from the forward, and then like backwards. And then, so like I was moving right there, and then I struck to the left. So like as long as your direction key is pressed towards the boss, and then you hit your right click, then you'll most likely tag it rather than completely miss if you're just attacking in the direction that you're facing. Alright, so let's show you like this stuff in action. And then if you got any other questions, just, you know, show you some action. And if you got any other questions, just post it in the comments below. I don't know what's up with YouTube notifications. I actually don't see a notification. If you got any questions, just post it in the comments below. I will answer them as soon as I can. Anything that gets asked a lot, I'll put in the description as usual, as under the FAQ. And yeah, so I'll show you, like, you know, how I play Staff at a boss. I'm gonna solo everything now ever since the revamp. Before, Mana Amber was so stupid and Flying Sparrow did like nothing. It was horrible. Okay, so here I am at a boss level. Guys, so this is like in-3 content, or more closer to endgame than anything. So you Oh, 15k. Holy crap. Oh, I don't have any spells saved, that's not good. Always save spells before you go into a boss area. It's just good. Okay, I got all my spells saved. Alright, where's the boss? Where's the boss? So these bosses are also susceptible to quick wing, which is nice. This is a mini boss, it's not actual like an actual boss, like a raid boss or something. Very significant boss. Start with that. Oh god, oh, invincibility for the first 3 seconds. Ooh. And he's just taking it to the face like a man. Oh, he's dead before anything even else happened. Okay, well, that's what happens when you have a quick cast and clip the wing. He's so slow that he just died before anything happened. Whoops. Alright, so Hopefully I won't just disintegrate the boss like super quick. Actually, this time I won't use the Rage Conductor. So this is like under the assumption you don't have Rage Conductor. You just need to like destroy a boss using regular spells. Of course you should, under the assumption you have 4 spells saved, or 3 spells saved, not 4. And, wow, that spider hits really hard. I just lost 6 shields from that one hit. What the hell? I do want to kill the boss quickly in a timely manner because I don't have anything to dispel Regina Curse. Well, I do, but I don't want to use them, so I'm just gonna kill the boss in under 2 minutes or so. Oh, there we are. So there's the boss. And he shoots over there, a flying sparrow out of position. He doesn't hit me. Oh, and then I took a hit to the face. I'm probably gonna die. I have this feeling I'm gonna die. Here. Oh my god, there goes all my health. I need to keep Corona, heal a little bit. This is where Hallucinate comes in handy. And yes, sometimes I have to save Firebolt so I don't actually take it to the face. This is why I barely ever use Amber. And that Firebolt that I saved earlier is very efficient. And that's how you kill a boss with just random spells. I actually didn't Amber once during that entire fight, so you just want positioning with the Flying Sparrow. It's very useful. That's what I mean by like you don't really need to rank up Mana Amber as long as you know how to use Flying Sparrow very like usefully. Is that even a word? So again, this is with the assumption that I have no spells saved. And what the hell do I do now? Why am I making my life so difficult? Anyways, you can still CC the shit out of the boss even though you have no spells saved. I better heal myself. Oh my god. Yeah. This is why you don't really need potions. It's so... And why the greater cat statue helps out a lot. You can just do like almost anything. And your SP should constantly be going up and down, making full use of that SP. And oops, why did I use that while I'm full SP? Oh great. Oh great. Orbs, oh, Meteor Storm this. Just to start off, while I still have continual focus of the boss. Oh my god, he didn't even get affected by it. Okay, and then I better use Hallucinate just to... Oh, he has no effect from it! Oh shit, that's not good. I'm dying now. See if he's susceptible. Oh, he is! Oh, what the hell? That's weird, he can't be hallucinated, but he can be slowed down. I didn't get an ice there, that's very saddening. It's very hard all of a sudden. Oh my god, in the face. Freeze! Oh, finally! Thank you! Jeez. Oh, fire buff. Land another fire. He's on a dot now. Oh, lightning, get my stamina back. He's tired. He's probably almost dead. I would be too if I took that much punishment. Okay, so yeah, that's what happens when you have... Well, it's still pretty fast. I mean, I killed the boss in a few minutes or two. Even when I didn't have spells saved, but if I had spells saved, it'd just go a lot faster. It's just like, you know, burst everything off right off the bat. Alright guys, so here we go. Probably the only fight worth mentioning is with Calidus here at the end. I get destroyed. Spell saved, so I'm gonna save this. Save this. And I'll leave this for later. Alright, I don't know how this is gonna go down, but I'm assuming I'm gonna get destroyed, so no expectations here, guys. Maybe I should do this without an interface too. I'm getting really used to playing without an interface just because I don't have to look at my stupid UI. Oh, Jesus. Wait. Oh, no, stop tossing shit at me. Okay. That's kind of like one of the few times I have to use an Amber. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh man, there goes all my HP. This guy. Holy shit, all my HP is gone. Stop throwing shit at me. Oh, he didn't freeze. Oh shit. Please freeze. No, he didn't freeze. Oh my god. I'm gonna get trashed so hard. I know it right now. I'll probably have to transform, dude. Talking and playing is hard. Oh, 10k. Okay, whatever. I'll just throw shit at me. I'll throw fireball at you. Oh shit. Come on, freeze! Oh my god. Oh. Yes. Get tired. Drain my ears. Oh shit. Oh god, that hurts. Oh my god. Oh, a text message. Oh no, how did that? Oh no. That shit. I was standing still. Last time I was like right next to him and he had his ear thingy going. Oh my god. He's still not frozen. Oh, whatever. That's right, get stunned. Get tired. That's right. Be on your knees. Rest. Be tired. If you perfect block mana amber, you can actually like go out of it right away. Like that. Like it's supposed to be at least 1 second. That was not 1 second. That was like half a second. Oh my lord, that hits too much. Oh, finally you're frozen. Okay, eat everything I've got. Oh, he's dead. Okay, never mind. Freaking, I was trying to freeze him for the longest time. It just did not happen. That's the other thing with Ice Spear though. It's pretty unreliable, but as you can tell, like the damage is crazy high for Ice Spear. 15.6k or something is what I saw, but. Yeah, damn. Alright guys, so that's a staff demonstration for you. Hope that answered most of your questions at why always flying Sparrow and you barely ever have to mana amber. And I use Firebolt and Lightning Bolt for the most part. Another thing you can do is like moving focus and hold it at this level, but it's just like you can hold it like this at this level forever, but it's really confusing to do, so I'm not really going to explain how to do it, considering I never really needed to do it. And then if I wanted to cast, I can just like cast right away from that. You can like run around forever basically at this cast here forever, and it's just there's no point. Like you don't have to like have a free hand here. So like you can do this with one hand. It's just like here's my free hand. Whee, I'm still running around. Yeah. There's no point doing that. It's just like if you really want to know, I'll let you know in the comments. But for the most part, in terms of gameplay, you never need to do that. It's just you just get confused, and that's why I don't want to explain it. Okay, so this is the Scythe part of the demonstration. I'm not very good with a Scythe. Well, I'm not even a Scythe player anymore. So bear with me here. If I die, I'm so sorry. But Scythe, for the most part, in terms of stats, you want all speed above everything else, and then of course you want balance. I know crit is very important, but balance keeps your attacks, like all your attacks, relatively high damage. Crit is just like bonus on top of that. Whereas like staff, you want crit and balance, because I noticed speed doesn't really do anything for staff, considering if you flying Sparrow cast anyways, flying Sparrow quick cast. But Scythe on the other hand, you need speed for everything. Speed is king for Scythe. You don't want anything except for speed for Scythe. I don't even pull my marks. It's just because generally when I notice, like when I pull my marks, I just get hit. It's not even cool. Getting hit sucks. And I don't have my Insane Reaper on significant cooldown, even though that's how I recommended it. So I'll see you guys in the boss, and we'll see how I do. Alright, so here we are with first boss fight. I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm not used to doing this with Scythe. Much like hopping around throwing a fireball rather than swinging a weapon. God, this is gonna be horrible. Well, I should turn this on before I do anything. Oh yeah, one thing about the Soul Skewer, I always blink right after. I don't actually, I don't actually pull. It's actually faster that way. The attack delay right after Soul Skewer is so horrible if you don't blink. This guy is just spamming that projectile. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm so gonna die. Oh, let me just drink some potions. Cheating. Oh, this is unreal. That was so much damage. What the hell? Holy crap. Yeah, I'm horrible with Scythe, by the way, so I'm just you know, take that. Ugh. Okay, landed all 4 of them. Oh! I thought I was invincible during that. What the hell? Well, it's probably because it was an unblockable, that's why. Oh my goodness. Oh, but my Arcane Gate still went off after. What the hell? Because I saw a yellow number there. That was weird. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna die now. Please. Oh, that's level 3 curse, that's not good. Or level 5 curse. Oh, jeez, this is horrible. Oh, that's not good. Alright, hopefully this second boss won't go as horrible. Oh my god. Gotta remember to slow down the boss before I fight him. Which is just cheating, but... Actually, one of them I didn't even bother slowing down, dude. Bursted them to hell. Oh, Soul Hoarder. Oh my god, what the title reduced my HP down to nothing. What the f... That's a very odd bug. I went from full HP to 2 HP all of a sudden for gaining a title. That was very weird. You guys all saw it? That was horrible. Oh god, I missed the bloody thread. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is why I hate the bloody thread. It takes forever to go, even with like 42 attack speed. I recommend you have at least like 80 speed if you want to use that. It's just a crazy amount, I know, but still. This is why you want Insane Reaper on forever. Oh god, and freaking... Nope, that's a blow. Okay, that wasn't actually too bad. Oh god. Oh, one thing that, for Scythe is that when you blink, you don't always have to go into a Blade Shift, Demon Splitter, and Horrific Scream. One way to actually start your combo faster, to actually land Bloody Threads more successfully, is that right after a blink you go straight into your normal attacks. What you do is you blink behind the boss, of course, and then you go straight into that. While they're turning around, you've already landed your 2 to 4 normal hits, and then on the last hit they're actually facing you, and then you can smash your Bloody Thread before anything. Yeah, so it's basically like backstabbing. Just you know, as a tip. Okay, here we go with another boss. I'm not even gonna do the Void Star thing anymore. That's only if I don't need Insane Reaper on, which I do, so I love to have it on. Not only is the attack speed great, but the stamina restore is wonderful. Oh my god, I didn't even have Spirit Mine, so that didn't even give me stamina back. Oh, what the hell, I gives me no stamina. Alright, here we go. Speed up. Oh my god, I'm out of stamina even though I'm... Ooh, I'm a ghost! Sorry, hit so hard, that was a critical. Oh my god. Nope, stay in that hole. Okay, good. Yeah, so that Arcane Gate crit, man, holy. That probably destroyed his HP. I don't even know how much that did. That's probably well over 100 or something. Like, what the hell? Because when you snap crit, I think all of them crit. I don't know if it's like singular, like each one has their own crit chance, but I think it's all of them. So because that sounded like a lot of them. Like one crit I can generally distinct through sound, but when all of them crit, it sounds very different. Alright guys, and it's final boss time. Let's see how this goes. I really want to stress the importance of speed on Scythe for various reasons. One is also quick positioning, landing your marks faster, and of course there's some bosses where if you're actually fast enough, you can just have them rotating around you forever. And then like it looks OP as fuck because they can't do anything except turn around. That's a mark there, that's a mark there. Oh, enhanced. Got that, got this. Oh, that was dumb. Cancelled my Arcane Gate. This is why you don't want... That's another reason for speed. Speed, you activate your Arcane Gate faster. Eat this. And just constant Void Stars in between. Oh. Go behind him, of course. Oh god, finally he hits me. Oh my god, really? Ah! Oh shit, that hurts. I think I have Transform. No, I don't have Transform because of that last run that I used it on. Oh, and he's tired already. What the? Or maybe that was a knockdown. I don't think I took out that much HP yet. Oh shit. Oh god, no stamina on my Insane Reaper. Okay, that's easy done. You just blink right through him. Oh fuck yeah. Keep forgetting he has... Ugh. I missed his toes. Oh jeez. I'm probably gonna die. I have this bad feeling. I'll just take my time. Oh shit, nope. Oh sure, you don't detect the wisp, but you detect me when I'm moving around. Pretty bullshit. Oh my Void Star missed. Well done. Like, you can be very careful with a Scythe. Like, you don't have to be as greedy and dangerous as I'm doing it. Holy shit. Oh, another knockdown. This is why I want to, like, put all knockdown rate on Scythe instead of damage. Just because. Oh my god, really? I am so screwed now. I'm so screwed now. Oh, I dodged it! Oh my god, 0 damage. OP, that blink. 2, 3. Ow. 1,000 advance. Ouch. Oh, that hit me in between, what the f- Nope, he's tired, come on, just kill him! Nope, that didn't kill him. Oh, knockdown again! How many knockdowns? This is a lot. I knocked him down like 3-4 times. So guys, S3 Awakening, man, I would suggest knockdown rate for Scythe instead of damage. I mean, damage is nice and all, but the fact that they get knocked down and then they do nothing and then they just become a sandbag temporarily, that's more worth damage to me than actual damage buff. Anyways, guys, I hope this all helped you out. That's the end of this guide. I know it's been very long. Thank you so much for coming along all this way. If this really helped you out, give it a like or a dislike, whichever. Share it with your friends who are struggling with EVs. If you got any other questions, just put it down in the comments below. Anything that's been asked frequently, it'll be added to the description FAQ. And also make sure to make use of the table of contents in the beginning to bring yourself to the timings that you need to know about. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Vindictus, and I'd like to see you guys next time in the next videos. Bye bye for now. Alright guys, so one thing I didn't really go over is Skill Awakening. Skill Awakening is kind of like a buff that you can add to your skills. They either change the SP costs, the cooldown times, damage increase, knockdown rate, generally things within that. It's a small buff, and you'll kind of run into this later in the game. Very, very late in the game. You won't encounter this in like the first 60 levels or whatever. This is kind of like a 70 to 80 plus thing when you actually reach Season 3. So for the most part, the things you want for your skills is these are the things I recommend. They're not anything absolute or concrete. So you know, I always encourage you guys to build your character however you want, because I don't want these guys to be kind of like, oh, this is the only way. It's not. There's very many ways to play Vindictus, and there's very many ways to customize your character and also play a different way, right? So one thing is that well, some of these are very like obvious. It's like reverse gravity can only reduce SP consumption. What are you gonna awaken it with? SP consumption, because that's the only option. But for things more like for magic arrow, for instance, you have a choice of either increased damage or knockdown rate. So knockdown rate is something that people don't actually understand, and it's also kind of like an invisible value. Every attack has a certain amount of knockdown points or whatever, and then when a boss reaches a threshold, like it's probably some huge number, they reach enough knockdown points, then they go into that knockdown phase, which is like they're on their knees or they're staring at the floor panting for air, whatever, that's the knockdown, and then that resets to 0. So the more knockdown rate you have, the higher you'll reach that, the faster you'll reach that threshold basically, and then they'll be like down on their knees staring at the floor. Fiona's the only character with the highest amount from Shield Bash. That is like the highest knockdown rate. There's some charts out there if you just Google like multiplier charts or whatever, like character name multiplier charts, and people have mined those out. And then if you actually go crazy into mechanics, this is like extreme mechanics, by the way, this isn't like basic anymore. You'll figure out, and then if you do enough math or whatever, then you know how much each skill will give you a knockdown rate. But this isn't about that, so this is more just about like what I've added onto my skills. So for Awakening, so for Lightning Bolt, I would actually go with damage, same with Firebolt, because they hit so hard, I might as well make that digit even higher. Ice Blast, I would actually put knockdown rate on it, even though it does very little. I don't use Ice Blast for damage anyways. So that's two of the things. Healing Corona, well, there's only cooldown, so flying, nope, there's none for that. For regeneration, I wouldn't recommend reduced cooldown because it costs about 500 SP, and the cooldown it's not really that long anyways. It's 30 seconds long, and the cooldown that you can reduce it is only by 5 seconds, up to 5 seconds right now with the stones. It doesn't take a significant cooldown, it takes a regular cooldown. Significant cooldown can cool down up to like 22 seconds, but this can only take normal cooldown. So if you reduce it down to 25 seconds, there's like an 8-second in between where regeneration's not on, but that means you have to upkeep 500 SP every time you use it, which is a lot, and you don't want to do that because you can't build up SP that fast unless you're not casting Meteor, you're not casting Reverse Gravity, and you're not casting Continual Focus as a staff. So regeneration, highly recommend the SP consumption reduction, because once you do that, it only costs 430 SP to cast every time, and that small little bit actually makes a huge difference. The other thing is all the fire spells basically just give it damage boost. There's no point for it to ever get knockdown rate. That's easy enough said. Ice Spear, you want damage instead of knockdown actually. Ice Blast, I went with knockdown because it doesn't freeze, but Ice Spear hits really, really hard for some odd reason. It's just extremely hard and unbelievable. So I decided to go with increased damage, and that's how you saw like the 15Ks later on and these high damage numbers. Lightning Wave, I actually want to change this to knockdown rate because Lightning Wave doesn't really hit that hard, and it hits like 5 times now, and they're very small numbers like 1k, 2k, 3k. It doesn't really, that amount of damage increase, like 6% on top of the 1k, 2k, 3k, it's not very much. Whereas Ice Spear is like 15k, like what the hell? You put 10% on that, that's like an extra 1.5k. It's like, what? So I need to switch this to knockdown rate. Guided Lightning, I have knockdown rate. It has actually a high amount of knockdown per bolt. It's about like 9 points or something, so increase that by about 8%. It's like now 10 or 11 from each of them. Ice Blow, I would put knockdown rate. I don't know about reduced stamina consumption. I don't have stamina problems just by the way of how I juggle my spells. Fire Shock, damage. Rage Conductor, this is really, I'm kind of like on the fence about either one, increased damage or knockdown rate. I try to get an increased damage on it, but it doesn't, I don't know if it really will affect it that much because the thing already hits extremely hard, and I don't know if it's capped or not. It hits like 3k or 6k on crits, so, and it's going at a rate of 0.2 tick per second, so that's 5 ticks every second. That's crazy. And then I don't know how much knockdown it actually provides, or if it actually knocks down, because I know by the number of damage that an enemy takes, they just flinch repeatedly. That's not a knockdown, that's just a flinch from like a damage threshold. And continual focus, you don't need reduced SP consumption. You want reduced cooldown on this thing. This skill itself, if you have reduced cooldown on it, that's like an increase in damage, because the faster this thing cools down, the faster you can continual focus, and the faster you can juggle your spells out repeatedly and keep all your spells on cooldown. Without cooldown, it cools down in 15 seconds, and the buff lasts 20 seconds. So you have a 5-second window to double juggle a spell. Whereas if you increase this down to another 5-second cooldown, that's only 10 seconds on cooldown on 20 seconds. So you now have a larger gap window, as well as faster cycling of your spells. That's why I went with that. There's no point to ever SP reduction that one. And then for Scythe skills, Scythe is really strange. It's just like they're all either damage or knockdown. So, you know, play however you want. If you want to go all damage, then fine, just all damage. But I would say commit to one way or the other, or either go all knockdown, because when you pop all your marks, the knockdown also like just huge spike, and they might just go on their knees. And then when they go on their knees, you can land like another set of marks. So it's just like that's what I mean by like that's utility play versus like pure DPS play. So make your choice. I for one, I would actually try to go all knockdown just to see what it's like. I assume it'd be kind of OP, considering when you stack speed on top of that, it would just all carpet roll faster. So, you know, and then of course, Insane Reaper, you want the significant reduced cooldown. Insane Reaper without any awakening is 1 minute and 15 seconds. So when you put significant reduced cooldown, it'll bring it under, especially you want it over 16 seconds. So then you can actually keep that Insane Reaper on forever, assuming you don't die. Because it lasts 60 seconds and you want the cooldown to be under 60 seconds. Then you can recycle it forever, and then you'll never run out of stamina in fights. That's the only thing I have to say about it. In terms of the other ones, it's either damage or knockdown rate. I don't know if reduced stamina consumption on the mark explosions are worth having, because when you have Insane Reaper on, your stamina isn't really a problem anymore. And with Horrific Scream reduces like 80 stamina when you land a hit. It's a crazy amount. So that's why I'm like, there's kind of no point ever reducing the stamina cost. Alright, so that's the skill awakenings, guys, and I hope that helped you out. Alright, let's look at outfits here. Purple Ranger. Evie, I'm from the old world. From the old world. I'm from the old world. Yeah, right, more like the carnival. Super Evie, she's a street punk, gonna wreck shit up. Look at that toilet paper.
Oh, check it out! I'm an artist. I paint with my gigantic fluorescent scythe brush. And I'm wearing this clothes of some monster called a succubus. Oh my god, Evie, what the hell, you don't wear clothes? Holy
What the? This ain't Half-Life 2.
gigantic head brains.
Plus the crowbar. Well, I guess the crowbar didn't do me any help. Got eaten by a head crab. That side boob though. Guess how I cut my vegetables, guys? With a scythe. I love cooking. I'm the most badass chef in town. This dress. Look at this dress.